Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Janet Nohavec. I'm pastor of the Journey Within in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. I'm home this morning because I'm cooking corned beef and I have to kind of watch the flames. So it's a long, slow simmer meat. So um, it's my honor to be with you this morning. We're very, very fortunate to have with us Minister Mavis Pittilla, who will be coming in a little bit. Oh, good morning, Mavis, and Jean, of course. As a spiritualist church, we do believe in spiritualist healing. We begin our services with spiritual healing. If we were in the chapel, we would be doing laying on of hands in prayer. Um, we are not there yet. We're not open yet. So we gather together in this way. And thank you for the early risers, I guess we are, those who lost an hour's sleep. So welcome to everyone this morning. Um, so we'll go into a quiet little piece of meditation, a beautiful piece of music. Our absentee healers are here with us. They'll be sending absentee healing to those of us present. To those, if you want to put a first name, last initial in the chat box, you can do that. Our healers will pray for them and send them healing for the days, weeks, months to come. Everybody is welcome there, including pets. If there's anyone during the course of the week you would like to add to the healing list, please don't hesitate to call the church offices or email us. We're cognitive of everything coming in that way. So if you would like to join in the healing, just go into a quiet place of meditation, focus on your breathing, enhancing your own immune system. And we'll begin with prayer. Infinite and gracious God, as we gather together in community this morning via Zoom, and we are blessed to have Zoom for now. We gather together with people praying all around our planet from all different faiths, wanting peace on earth, quality for one another, kindness and compassion to one another. As we gather together this morning, we pray for healing for our planet, our beautiful Mother Earth, and all of its inhabitants all around the planet that are having challenges right now with COVID. We pray, dear God, that you show us the way forward through and putting it behind us as we know you well. There is nowhere we can go that you are not already there. We pray for those healers that serve our church. And thank you for your commitment. And we pray for each of your homes represented here. May they be places of love and healing. And as we gather this morning as a group of souls, may we pause in our busy lives just to be still for a few moments, focusing within our breath on a peace within our soul, on healing, and a light that we know draws near to us from a ministry of angels and the presence of the Great Spirit, which we know to be love. Amen. As we return from our healing moments, we continue to send absentee healing to all those you have requested prayers for. These prayers will be continued to be sent in the days, the weeks, the months to come. And at all times, let us think of healing for our beautiful planet and for our companions upon the journey. And we lay all of our prayers at the great footstool of the Great Spirit, God. Amen. We are very blessed to have with us Minister Mavis Pittilla and Jean, of course, who assists. So Mavis Pittilla is a minister. She is an ambassador for the religion of spiritualism and the spirit world for close to 50 years. She's been a tutor at the prestigious Arthur Findlay College. She is the author of 2 different books, most recently, Droplets of God. She's a friend to the Journey Within and a wonderful Mavis and Jean supporter of the Hydesville Restoration Project in Hydesville, New York. So we welcome Mavis this morning and we would ask her to open with prayer. You're muted. Changed.
And I just lead you in the quiet prayer of thanksgiving. O most gracious Spirit, thou who moves through all ages and marks each sparrow's fall, we, this assembly of soul, come together united to give thanks for thy grace, thy power, and thy love that is bestowed upon this planet of ours every second of every day. Thankful are we that thy presence is in our lives, constantly moving us forward to follow thy will, thy great design for each of us as we individually move forward. Great Spirit, we gather in a oneness of soul on behalf of those on our planet who need thy care and thy keeping, and we offer ourselves to fulfill this your design. Great Spirit, thankful are we for the joy of communion with the unseen world, the joy of their presence still in our lives, encircling us with thy power, thy grace, and their love and their memories of times gone by. May we leave our souls and ourselves in your care and keeping and offer our power that we may uphold and support the love that permeates all worlds. We leave the world of the Spirit in your care and in your keeping, knowing full well that thy love graces this planet now and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Mavis. We'll be having an opening piece of music. Hope you enjoyed that beautiful piece of music out of all my days, and we would invite Minister Mavis Pittilla to share the address with us today.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful again to be here at the Journey Within and to be sharing this wonderful sacred day, the day of thought, the day of tranquility, the day of peace. We just listened to a beautiful, beautiful song. Where did it come from? How did it originate, this lovely, lovely song? It came through thought, whether it was a droplet from the God source, the spirit world, or it was the thought of the person sat quietly and allowing thought to just transfer through the mind onto the paper and then into the notes that produce the music, all to do with thought. Thoughts are very, very special, aren't they? How we think and how we move and how we have our being. Very powerful. How powerful are your thoughts? I often think about the power of thought because it doesn't matter where we are, what second of the day we're in, then we are thinking. We are sending thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts will be jumbled and confused and unhappy. And when those thoughts are transpiring over us, surrounding us, embedding the negative thoughts within ourselves, we become less strong, less powerful, less whole, less at one with ourselves. When I talk about ourselves, I'm talking about the conscious self and the soul self. when we're negative and we're moving away in great distress, we lose sight of that God force within us. What I love about Janet is that no matter what Janet is doing, she actually says, God will provide. And she thinks that in every fiber of her being. And it's so beautiful to see the results when they start to formulate, leaving it in God's care and keeping. So instead of going down the road of distress and unhappiness, there is this core within her that rises up from deep within her being, that core of belief, the belief in this God source. Perhaps for you and I, we're still searching for that ultimate belief in the God source. And yet, aren't we foolish to think that there isn't a presence and a power moving through our planet? Every second of every day, we are seeing the movement of that power that is termed God moving across our planet. We're seeing it now because now the thoughtfulness of the season is changing. The awakening of the wonderful flowers, the earth waking from a sleep state, the call of the great thought, which is God, awakening, preparing Mother Earth to once again produce her bounty. And we see it, you and I. We can bear witness to this power, knowing full well that thy will be done if only we will believe and we will trust. And trust isn't easy, is it? We don't come by it easy. And I wonder why not? Because basically we allow thought, negative thought, to creep in like a tiny, tiny little grain until it manifests itself and it takes us away from the power of positive thinking and takes us into that place where we are alone and there is no greater power than that negativity that chains us. And yet, looking out through the window, we can see the positivity of creation, the positivity of the God source. Thoughts are living things. We know that because if we look out, we look at the abundance, the thoughtfulness of this source that has created the wonder of our planet, then we know that positive thought produces so much wealth, so much health, and so much well-being. Leaving ourselves in that power and in that presence, relying totally on the awareness that that thought from the God source has come to us. And if we are still and we can move with it consciously, positively, yes, today I can't see the end of my journey, but I can feel the presence of the thought of God moving me constantly on. Isn't that wonderful that we can see that? We have communion with the world of the spirit. And not only do we communicate with them through mediums such as myself and thousands of others, and some of you that I know are listening today. That's wonderful, that communication. But look closer at the power of the thought as the spirit world are around us. It takes thought to switch a light on. It takes thought to bring a feather. It takes thought to manifest their love. And manifest it in such a way that you and I have to think, yes, I do believe that life goes on. I do believe it because I can hold something in my hand that tells me it is so. How long will it take you and I to become aware that we can believe without any symbols, without the feather, without the light coming on, without the music playing, without all things that come and turn into physical matter? How long till we will believe in a positive way that yes, the power of thought is immense. It can transform life. Your thoughts can transform your life, can change the pattern of your days and your nights, can help you in your belief that yes, those that I have lost, I have not lost at all, for they are there by my side. And I know that when I rejoice, as I feel the breeze of their breath touching my skin, I can believe. I can believe in this wonderful, wonderful life that is moving in the other world. The interaction of the thoughts that come in and go out. And on this day, this special day, we, you and I, are sending our thoughts out to the unseen world. And those thoughts are extremely strong if we believe, if we trust. For we know that as we think, we are sending love. As we send love, it magnifies the power of our thinking. That's how the spirit world manifests the feather. Manifest that interaction with our world. It's the thought that gives the power that proves love. What a wonderful thought for you and I to be able to put our shoulders back in the face of adversity, in the face of daunting experiences, and lift ourselves and know, I will believe, and in my belief, I will say, it is good to know that God moves me forward on this journey, that through my soul and the thoughts of my soul, I hear the Spirit speak to me, the Spirit that resides deep within my being, and I know that I am worthy, for I am loved beyond measure. And I will accept that love unconditionally, without a need of proof, without a need of anything to support. I will hold my belief in the God source, and I will believe that as I move through this life, I am aware in my belief that I am about God's work, no matter what the task has been assigned me. For indeed, we are all assigned a task. It resides deep within our soul. And as we grow in our belief, then the journey and the task becomes easier. For instead of crying out for evidence, instead of crying out for our own personal proof, we can rest and say, yes, God is good. And I know that whatever is before me, God knows I will finish this journey, and I will finish it in His love, in His power, and in His grace. And as we gather together this day, you can imagine the thoughts in the world of the Spirit, that as they gather around us, you in your home, me in this home, thoughts uniting together like a great canopy of power to enable those in the unseen world to communicate. Why communicate? Because they are thinking of us, because we are thinking of them. And in that duality of thought comes love. And there, residing in love, is the proof to the two worlds that love, like life, can never die, and that thought is precious, is powerful, is loving, and will always, through God's grace, move us forever onwards on this journey back to the source. So, for many of you I know who are on a mediumistic journey, believe the soul has risen within you. The Spirit of God illumines you. Your belief that you are on this journey in harmony with the design of the Great Spirit. And in this, we can rest and we can be thankful for our lives. No matter whether it is a piece of music, that thought becomes the physical reality, whether it's a feather that comes bringing a physical reality. It is all about love and the power of the greatest love of all, which comes from the God source, filtering through all the worlds within worlds within worlds beyond this planet. And how? Because we can all unite in our thoughts. Peace on earth, goodwill towards man. Hard, and yet, remember, peace begins with you. Power begins with you. Love begins with you. And as we go forward, thinking in this way, then we shall overcome the trials and tribulations of this materialistic life. For we shall walk with the thoughts of God as the powerhouse of our future. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mavis, for those beautiful, inspiring words. If we were at the church, we would be now coming to time of announcements and our collection. If you're so moved, Karen has developed this square, which has a name which I don't know. If you click on it with your camera, it will take you to a donation block. It's the way of the future, I guess. And if not, if you'd like to send in a check the traditional way, anything is appreciated, great and small, if you're in a position to help. We appreciate that. I'd like to thank all of our volunteers who work as techs, teach the classes that we have going on. So many of the nights, Reverend Karen, Reverend Patty, everyone who's putting huge effort into keeping our community alive via Zoom during these days, and our healers for their selfless service. Tonight at 6:30, there is a student service that has become quite popular and has been beautiful. Um, we are planning a murder mystery. Stella and Stephen Upton and some of our other friends from the UK. It's going to be a fundraiser for the Hydesville Schoolhouse. Watch for details. It should just be utter laughter, which will be good. Um, on Friday, April 16th, Mavis Pittilla and myself are having as well a talk, and that's a fundraiser for the Hydesville Schoolhouse. You can find all of these on the Journey Within under the events page. Stella Upton will be with us on March 18th, a class on private readings. Sue Woods will be with us on Saturday, 3:20. That is to work with spirit art. Colin Bates will be with us for a 2-day course. John Holland and myself will be with a class together. That's on March 20th. And Zintar Speaks, Transmediumship through Tony Stockwell, that he has as well donated as a fundraiser for the schoolhouse. We have some wonderful friends, I have to say, and colleagues that have worked really tirelessly for that effort. We do have a new midday class at 2:30 on Wednesdays. Some of our overseas friends asked for a mediumship development group that would be midday. So that's on 2:30, and beginning in April on Sundays at 1 p.m. There will be a class with myself and Dawn Pfeiffer for 1 week mediumship, 1 week psychic development. On March 27th and 28th, Stella Upton will be with us for autographs. On March 28th, I don't think I said this, James Van Prague and myself will be doing a demonstration of mediumship as well for the Hydesville Schoolhouse Restoration Project. There are quite a few things coming up for Hydesville Week, Hydesville Day. The Spiritualist National Union is posting things all that week, and even today they had a beautiful picture of Lilydale in 1907 um, for the World Congress of Spiritualists. I'll be doing something with Simone Key that evening in the UK time. I know Mavis Pittilla and myself will also be guests on the National Association of Spiritualist Churches event, which will be on Hydesville as well. So lots happening for the anniversary of spiritualism. Happy Mother's Day to the UK and other parts of the world that are celebrating Mother's Day earlier than us, I have to say. And there is an equinox service as well. Thank you, Peggy, for posting that. March 20th at 6 o'clock p.m. There's no fee for that. On Tuesday nights, we have a healing group that comes together. There's no fee for that. You can join our healers. Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights, Tuesday at 2:30, and soon Sunday at 1 o'clock. All of those have development classes. So please look at that. If you're brand new, we do have a beginner's class as well. So lots happening. If you'd like to bring any um, food for the pantry that we serve in Patterson, Kumac, run by the Methodist Church, a wonderfully run organization, and it's in an area of great need. So if you'd like to drop off any food, non-perishable, non-glass, you can leave it at the door at the church and we'd be happy to bring it in. Our kitchen is being redone as we speak at the church. So we've just ordered the new floor that's coming. We had some problems happening with the sidewalk that was pitched towards the kitchen. Water was starting to seep down the foundation into the kitchen. So we're corrected the problems, and Jimmy's working tirelessly to have a new kitchen, simple but nice and clean, and the problems have been corrected. Um, the link for the service for the equinox, if it's not up yet, will be up. So don't worry, you'll get in. I think that's everything announcement wise. So we're going to be coming to our time of demonstration of mediumship. As a spiritualist church, we do believe that life is continuous. Through a demonstration, we bring forward those who have moved on to the spirit world in connection to those of you who are here. If Mavis brings forward a body of evidence, you can take 100% of it, at least 90% of it. Please put up your little yellow hand. Can a few people put up their little yellow hands? That indicates, I believe that's for me. Please don't put up your hand if you can only take one piece of information. And if you can take the first three pieces and then not to the next three, please lower your hand so we can find our recipient as quickly as we can. We would appreciate that. If all else fails, please resort to typing to me in the chat box. So far, this has been works pretty well, I have to say, on Zoom. So, as I said, we're blessed to be able to come together in community with 163 of you from around the world, and we're deeply grateful to be in community during these times with you. So we're going to be going into a piece of music before we move into the demonstration of mediumship. Before we move into our demonstration of mediumship, we always have our message prayer. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I'm 1,000 winds that blow. I'm the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. I'd like to turn the demonstration over to Mavis.
Thank you, Janet. Hello again, everyone. And it is Mother's Day here in the UK, and I thought we would have quite a lot of mothers here wanting to say hello, but I have a gentleman, and I know this gentleman I know he's a father. I got to say that he tells me that he had a stroke before he went to the spirit world, and I can see him. And I just know that he would have needed a lot of help. I'm also very much aware that family members would have pushed him in a wheelchair and would have worked tirelessly to try and help him to be as happy and as comfortable and as content as he possibly could be. I know he had family around him. I don't think they lived with him, not all the family, but I do know that family would have popped in whenever they could. So I do know that I must be talking to a daughter because he's just mentioned I have a daughter living. So that's what I'm saying. So may I just see who this lovely gentleman, well, this father, I'm going to say, and he's a lovely dad, I would feel. You've got lovely memories of before the stroke, before he was a sick man. I just get this lovely feeling from him. And I'm well aware that he was, I really mean this in the nicest possible way, but I just feel that he was exhausted from this stroke at the end of his life. And when he went to spirit world, he would have been so thankful for what he'd received from his family, but in his going. And I know that he couldn't talk to you at the end. I just know that this stroke would have really have damaged him tremendously. So from this very proud, upright, I'm going to tell you what I see him now, and he's just closed the wheelchair and pushed it away to the side, and he stood before me, and he's smart. He's well, his skin is so clean. He's fastidious with his cleanliness. So I just know that he was a proud, upstanding man as I work with him. I know his father is in the spirit world with him. And I also know that his mother is in the spirit world with him. And they had gone years before All right, so his parents would have been settled in the spirit world when he took his transition. That's what he's telling me. Is that, can anyone place that for me, please? Nobody's speaking to me.
I have two hands. One is Jane, actually three. One is Oshada, and one is Julian. There are
Wonderful.
three hands.
Thank you, Janet. As I work, he talked about a sister. So I know that he has a sister, and I know this sister is in the spirit world with him, but she didn't go with a stroke. That is absolutely, he is so strong in that. So I know that he has a sister. So you must have an aunt in the spirit world as well, as I'm working, because
Jane,
that's where I come in. Is that correct?
Jane.
Yes, absolutely. Everything that you said is correct.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you know, this man is so articulate, darling. And he, if I could tell you that he became proud because he worked so hard to make something of himself. So he had every right to stand with his shoulders back and his head up. You understand that, don't you?
Yes.
So
Yes.
he really would have worked really hard. And I know he's a very intelligent man, but I don't want to say he's got a PhD or anything like that.
Correct.
This is a man who's intelligent in his own right. Does that
Yes,
make sense to you?
absolutely. Yes.
Right, because he's just so wonderful as I'm working with him. I just know that you would have talked to him when he couldn't talk back to you.
Yes,
And
I
I
did.
know that what I've got to tell you that I need you to understand was I know that you tried to chivvy him along. So you tried to have kept him uplifted. That's what you would have tried to have done. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does, Mavis.
And I've got to tell you, he is so grateful for that, because I know that when he actually did at the end drift away from you, he says that you felt, had you been a bit hard in trying to keep him going. And he wants you to know without a shadow of a doubt that you did everything absolutely correctly for him.
Okay, thank you.
It's important that you know that, darling.
Okay.
Because I really want you to dance with him. I just want you to dance with him, not worry, not feel that you could have done anything different, because he's so grateful to you and he loves you very much. You understand that, don't you?
Yes, thanks, Mavis.
As I work with that, you've also got a grandmother that was a bit tart when she was on the earth. Now, when I say tart, that's an English word, isn't it? Not an American. I'm going to say sharp. So she always wanted things to be absolutely proper. Does
Yes.
that make sense to
Yes,
you?
I understand that.
You understand her as well, because she's just come in and she said, well, I'm here and I want to talk about her mother. All right. So I know that I need to talk about your mum. All right,
Okay.
my
All
darling.
right.
And
Good.
I've got to say here again, the care that your mother allows you to give or allowed you to give, with your generosity of spirit, you have brought peace. Does that make sense as well?
Yes. Yes.
I hope it does, because I know that for you, that is to give you upliftment and to move you on. I'm well aware your grandmother is showing me photographs and she's spread them out in front of me. And I really do believe that there are photographs that are scattered. So you haven't got all the photographs of the family at all, but they're scattered. And she keeps saying to me, but you know, my granddaughter is the custodian of wonderful memories, not of miserable memories. Would that make sense as well?
Yes, Mavis.
Okay, because she's so proud of you and she's so proud of the way that you have handled and you have stood up and you've stood in the power of your spirit and you have tried to bring order out of chaos.
Yes.
And I know that that's to do with family because she's told me that. That's
Yes.
correct.
That's true. That's true.
You understand? That's lovely. I'm just going to say your father's just blowing you kisses. Now, it doesn't seem that he's not a cuddly, huggy man.
No, he's not.
He's not, is he? Because
No.
he just keeps waving to me and just going like this. So
Mm.
I know that he's trying to tell me
Mm.
in his own way how much he loves you. But I do know that that would have been difficult for him when he was on the earth.
That's
You
true. Yes. Mhm.
but sweetheart, I know that you have some wonderful memories of your family. And I also know that there were other memories that were quite difficult where your diplomacy was absolutely necessary.
Mm. Mm. Yes,
I thank God for
I
you.
understand that. Mm.
All right, I
Mm.
thank God for you. I'm going to leave you with that, if I may.
Thank you very much, Mavis.
With
Everything you said touched.
Thank you very much. I'm just going, just as he's just moving away, but just bear with me just for one little second. He's talking about you smelling him. So you must smell him at times,
Hmm.
the atmosphere of him, even though he's in the spirit world. Would you understand that?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good, because he didn't take that any further, but just to tell you, yes, it is me,
Mm.
and yes, I can do that.
Mm. Mm.
I want you to go in peace with that, if you will. All right,
Thank,
madam.
thank you so much. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you too, and thank you for letting me share your father, because he
Mm.
was a lovely communicator
Mm.
when I was working. Lovely, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just move on a little bit now. And as I work now, I really know that I have someone's brother here in the spirit world. As I work with him, I know that this is a totally different passing. This is a quick passing as I work. I know that as I work with him, he seems to have been in the spirit world just a little while, so not a long way back. All right. I know that as I work with him, he seems to me to be a mature man. So I've got to say, I'm not talking about a teenager here. I know that I've got a mature man, and I know that he had a life of his own. So he wouldn't have lived in your pocket, all right, so to speak. But I do know that there would have been a quick call on the either. Well, he's telling me the telephone, so I'm going to go with him on the telephone for you to know that something had happened. And I really feel that it wasn't a long period of time before he passed the spirit world. So it seems that that's the way he's taking me in. So someone must be able to understand what I'm saying. As I work with him, I just know your father's in the spirit world, but your mum's in the spirit world too. So I really have quite a family gathering here. But it's the brother that is so important. But I do know that he would have lived a distance from you. I know he lived a distance from you, and that's why the communication about him going to the spirit world would have been quite I'm going to say a shock to you. Would that make sense?
Frank, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Lovely. Well, I've got him here, and I just know that it would have been a shock out of the blue. You understand that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
He's just talking about him being too proud not to tell people that he was feeling off color. He just didn't say anything. Does that make sense as well?
Absolutely correct.
And I know that he would have had to have gone into a hospital, but I'm well aware that you would have found it a lot of great difficulty in getting to him. So you wouldn't have been able to have put the phone down, got up and gone to visit him right away. I know you had to put order in. You had to get something organized first. Is that correct, please?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, because he's just telling me that, and he's got, I know you'll understand what I mean, he's got a whimsical smile. So his smile isn't beaming, but it's like a whimsical smile. And I know that you are more, I'm going to say, a little bit more cautious, a little bit more wanting to get things right than he would have been. That makes sense as well, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, Mavis.
He was a risk taker, he tells me. So I've got to go with him if you don't mind. All right.
Absolutely, yes.
But I do know him going to the spirit world and then your mum and dad being over there. I just get the feeling that you have had a power that has driven you into research, understanding the spirit world, understanding healing. You understand that, don't you?
Correct, yes.
Because I know that you have to know. You have to dot your I's and cross your T's. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right. And they're just smiling here because he's saying to me, you know, when you were talking about the lights going on and the feathers and all that, he said, we've had to do that for him because we've had to give him the proof. So I know that you've been researching. I won't say searching because it seems to me that in the core of your being, you knew your family were around you. You knew it. You knew it from your soul. You understand that?
I do, absolutely.
But the conscious mind just is your driver on that. So you have to go down the long haul to actually record everything. I know you would be aware of that. But he's just smiling, your brother. And I know you talk to him. And I know that he, in his own way, has become an inspirer. Now, he would never have wanted to do this spiritual stuff, as he calls it, all right? It wouldn't really have been his scene when he was on the earth. He would have wanted to have made humor out of it, not ridicule it, but just use humor, he's telling me.
Absolutely.
Look at him now. All right, look at him now. He's saying, when he meets me, when he comes over, and he's not coming yet, but when he comes, he won't recognize me. My aura is beautiful. So I really do feel that we've got a bit of a joker with your brother. Does that make sense as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. He's just lovely, a lovely guy to work with. As I work, I know that you tried, your best endeavors were to make sure people that loved him, that had to remain behind on the planet, I know you helped them to the best of your ability. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I know that again, it's this distance. Everything seems to be distant. But if I could just tell you, he keeps saying to me, well, he's done more than I would have done if the shoe had been on the other foot and he'd have been over here. So I just want to tell you that he's just in awe of the way you've moved and exercised and got things right. You understand that, don't you?
Yes,
Now,
I do.
I know that you have to put a pen and a paper in your hand because I know that there is something coming up and you know about it. So I'm not predicting this because I don't predict, but I just know that you have papers to look at, papers to sign that really makes things secure for other people. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And I also know, sir, that you are taking on spiritual responsibilities that you would have never have thought that this is going to be my path. You
Yes,
understand that?
absolutely.
Good. You know, can you remember the photograph? I'm saying, can you remember? You must be aware of it because he wouldn't be giving it me if you weren't. But can you remember the photograph of your brother with his arms folded? He's just in an ordinary casual mode, a casual stance. He's got just a shirt on, open neck at the top. It looks like an ordinary pair of jeans to me, slacks kind of thing. And he's just smiling at the camera because he's just doing that for you. So I know you will know this photograph. I'm well aware it's not on view. I know you don't have loads of photographs of your family tree, but I do know that you have been looking at photographs. You understand that as well?
I do. Yes, I do.
Wonderful, because he just keeps saying to me, just tell him That's what I'm doing. I told you so. So I know that you've had private messages from your brother since he's been in the spirit world that was telling you what you would be doing in the future, and it is coming to pass. That makes sense.
Yes, fingers crossed. Yes.
Well, it's coming to pass because he's tapping his toe here and he's making me stand like this. So I know, and the one thing about your brother, if you don't mind me saying, that your brother always told the absolute truth, even if it upset people, he still nevertheless had to speak his truth and speak
Absolutely.
his mind. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Well, just take that as written law, will you? Because I feel that that's what he's giving you today. You've got love from your mum coming through as well, because I know that where your mum is concerned, she just pours into you this feeling of strength and this power. And she talked to me about when you were young, and that when you were young, she would worry about you. And look at you now. And it's like, well, just look at him, but when he was young, we worried about him. So I know that in your early days, sir, there would have been problems that your parents would have been concerned about. That makes sense as well, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And I know because she's telling me so. She's just said to me, and you just tell him he still should be taking better care of himself. All
Okay.
right. So I know that she's on your case. That's your brother popping in again. You know what mum's like. She's always on our case. So just know that your mother's always on your case, will you? All right,
Yes.
darling. I just want to leave you with your dad's pride. Your dad's pride in you. I really believe that with your father, that he would never have thought that you would have gone as far as you have risen. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to tell you, just son, I am so sorry. I didn't see what I should have seen. And I know it was because he didn't get the chance. All right,
Yes.
sir. So may I leave you with that? And could I
Yes.
wish you well for the anniversary that's coming in about 6 weeks' time?
Yes.
So I don't know what kind of anniversary, sir, they haven't said, but in 6 weeks' time, there is an anniversary. When you raise your glass, know that we raise one with you. And I'm going to say thank you very much for my contact with your family. Thank you, sir.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Mavis. Greatly appreciated.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mavis.
Thank you very much to the Spirit World for being here. Our home is, it's beautiful because it's always got your family with us when we work like this. And Jean and I get so many blessings and so much love from the Spirit World. It's just unbelievable. It lifts our hearts. Thank you and God bless. God
Thank
bless.
you. Thank you very much, Mavis, for those beautiful contacts. That's going to be bringing us to the end of our service. We usually close with song and prayer, and we would be inviting Mavis to do the closing prayer at this time. Mm. So maybe we'll have the song first. We would ask Mavis to close with prayer.
Great Spirit, in the atmosphere of your creation, thankful are we that our souls have united in the power of love to support the communication between the two worlds. From deep within our being, we send forth our heartfelt love to the unseen world, and may they know that they will always dwell in our hearts and in our minds, now and always. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mavis Patilla and Jean as well. Have a wonderful Mother's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day this week. And Please stay well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, Mavis. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Will do.